DK. First DK tier is all about diseases. Outbreak is a current ability. It's up against Roiling Blood, which lets your blood boil act like pestilence, and the return, by popular demand, of Corpse Explosion. The way this works is if a target dies with your diseases on it, you can then target that corpse and blow it up. Next tier, we have 3 survivability buttons. You can choose Lichborn, you can choose Anti-Magic Zone, or you can choose Bone Shield. We're hoping that the blood DKs don't just say, oh, I have to have this, because the other 2 can be pretty useful as well. All right, level 45 is about movement and control. Death's Advance and Chilblains are current abilities that the DKs out there are probably familiar with. And then we have a new ability called Asphyxiate. You lift your target off the ground and strangle them. You'll see what we do with some of these talents is if you get Asphyxiate, it replaces Strangulate. It's kind of like a improved Strangulate. So you don't have both of them, you just have the more awesome version. All right, level 60, we have a healing tier. DKs have always been a little bit about self-healing, particularly the tanks. We still have Death Pact and Vampiric Blood in here, and a new ability called Death Siphon, which lets you to suck away a little bit of used shadow damage and heal yourself a little bit based on the damage dealt. Okay, level 75 is a really interesting tier. We introduced the concept of runic empowerment for Cataclysm with the idea of making sure that the rotations didn't feel too, we call it the metronome, when you're like, I know a rune's coming back now a rune's coming back now, and you can get to the point where you're just hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we introduced runic empowerment to mix that up a little bit. Some players don't really care for the mechanic. They think it's too RNG, they want a little more control. You can make other criticisms about it. So we thought it was a great candidate to stick here as a talent. If you like it, choose it. If not, you have 2 other choices here. You can take the Runic Corruption, which just increases the rate you get runes back, or this is a really modified Blood Tap, where now you can take a depleted rune and turn it into a death rune. And now, the final tier, level 90, is all about awesome crowd control. Gorfiend's Grasp, probably the easiest way to talk about this is AE Death Grip. Yeah. Remorseless Winter is kind of similar to the Lich King's ability himself. It's kind of a replacement for Hungering Cold. We had trouble balancing Hungering Cold at the end with the instant nature, and we didn't think the cast time really went over very well. So here, you can still do control, but it takes a little while to stack that 5 stacks up and then stuns the target at the end. And then finally, Desecrated Ground here. When you stand within the area, you're also immune to crowd control effects. It's also worth noting that all 3 of these abilities do some amount of damage. You know, again, we want them to be apple-to-apples choices, where if you're picking one of these abilities, you're not going to say, well, I have to pick this one just because it does a trivial amount of damage. Cool so far? Seem good? You with me? We're going to build a talent calculator. I'm sure many of you are going to go home and build talent calculators after this presentation. We'll hope to have something up on our website pretty soon where you can go and read all these tooltips. You don't have to furiously